when I was at West Ham, I was about 19, 20 years old, and we had a few characters in the change room. Then you got like the likes of Ian Wright, Neil Razor Ruddock, John Monco, who's probably one of the funniest men I've ever met in football. Paul Kitson, John Artson, Ian Dowie, Dale Gordon I think was even there, still there with his cobwebs hanging around. But yeah, and obviously myself, Frank Lampard and that lot in my youth team and that as well that were there. So we was around the training ground, and it was like a freezing winter's day. And that's when Sky Sports and BBC and whatnot were allowed to come in the training ground and film every day from the car park at West Ham. So in the mornings we used to go into the training ground, and it was like first come first serve over the counter in the kit room. So if it's freezing, everyone wants a jacket, wants a jumper, tracksuit bottoms. So like after about 20 minutes, if you hadn't got in there, whether you're first team or not, you had to go out there in a t-shirt or some skin tight jumper that didn't fit you or whatever. So we've all gone in and it was freezing. I think it was raining, sleet and everything outside. Loads of big puddles, waterlogged pitch, and we were training. So it was all out there just training, and like John Monco's a lunatic, right? Funniest man ever. Everyone's going, where's Monks? So all of a sudden, everyone's turning around, Sky cameras are there, we've got a big game on the weekend. Harry's out there in the middle of the pitch, we're jogging around the pitch. Monks has flown out of the training room onto the training pitch in a pair of football boots, a pair of socks, and nothing else. He just went, where's the kit? It's all gone. I've got no kit. Obviously West Ham, there weren't much money flying about, and obviously Sky Sports, Granada, BBC, whoever it was, got the footage, and I think Harry had to sit down with him and have a conversation about keeping the rights and not letting them air it. Do you know what it was? It was two moments happened, or two moments, probably three. One of the moments I remember getting on the plane after, you know what them tours are like when you used to go to, like, I think it was Asia or something that we went with them. Tiring, weren't they? They were tiring tours, long, 2 weeks. Yeah. Hard work, time difference, etc. I remember getting on the plane on the way home and seeing the manager sprawled out on the chair, looked dishevelled. Big club, this, isn't it? That's what he said to me. Wow. And I thought, oh, like, I've said this before, but like a kit launch at Everton's at Goodison on the pitch, innit? No disrespect, a kit launch at United's like a worldwide tour. Yeah. It's very different. So he quickly grasped that at the end of this tour, and I thought, okay, I'd like to have thought that he might have known that before. Okay, you let that pass. We play against Liverpool and Chelsea, and I remember in the training sessions we were setting up to stop Hazard and Coutinho, and he put a box in the middle of the pitch, or in the area that they play on, the inside left, and the players are looking at each other like, we don't really set up to stop individuals. We've never done that at United, really. I don't know if you guys remember anything like that. Messi didn't even really have a massive plan for him. We should have done. But it wasn't like it was almost like that, it was almost like that mindset as that you worry about us more than we worry about you. And them two games really made me think, wow, we're setting up almost like as a defeatist mentality, and very different to what a title-winning team was last season. So it was a very big shift in the mindset, and that was one of the things that I think a lot of the players were like, not against him, but just like it gives you a question mark in your head, and that little question mark is a big. Have you ever been in a change room where you're questioning the manager's tactics in your head? It does take something out of you, I think. And the first thing you do, if you're not as sure about and confident in them tactics, you do look over that little look over your shoulder as to what are we doing, is a big thing and takes out of your game. A little thing, remember what the boss used to do, where we used to go on a Friday night at a hotel or the Saturday morning before a game. If he sat at your table, you knew someone was getting told that they're not playing, or he's changed the squad. You're out of the squad, or you're going to be in the stands. He said, I remember David Moyes said, I don't do that. You're just not playing. Whoever it is, I'm not explaining myself to anybody. If you want to come and see me Monday. So obviously there's a lot of... Was he aggressive in his vibe? He's just, this is what I am. This is what I'm doing. And I know you respect that, but then sometimes if it's a squad game, and the squad wins you everything, it ain't just the first 11. You've got to take care of those other guys who are on the peripheral of the squad, the peripheral of the team. And he was like, this is the way I'm doing it now. And so... that doesn't affect me, because I was playing at the time when he first come in. But there are players, Chicharito, for instance, you could tell he's sitting there going, like, Sir Alex Ferguson respected me. Yeah. And he took that as maybe as a disrespect. And other players who were squad players maybe the same.
David Moyes said to me once, he said, I felt like the stepfather walking in trying to instruct the children of the father that's left.
Can't win. I felt sorry for David Moyes. I think anyone who come in there is an impossible job.
Right, I got another little thing I remember from my time at Man United. Yeah, I think you might have spoken about this before actually. We were away at Inter Milan, yeah, and I think it was Inter Milan anyway. And we were winning in the game, right? And then something happened. I think the manager made a substitution or whatever, right? And we got in at full time. We'd actually just lost the game 2-1. I think it was 2-1.
Bayern Munich.
Was it Bayern Munich? Sorry, Bayern Munich then, yeah. And everybody was just like, wow, like we just lost, can't believe it. And you've come in, I remember, and you are giving it. And I remember watching you give it to the manager. And to be fair, the manager was good as gold. He gave it you just as hard as what you were giving it him. But I remember sitting there and thinking, wow, he's just gone at Sir Alex Ferguson. But fair enough, like, you gave it proper and you had a point as well, didn't you? Do you remember it?
Yeah, mate, it's like clear as day, like it was yesterday. And I remember he made a substitution in the game,
Yeah,
didn't
that
he?
was it, yeah.
That I didn't agree with. I think Scholesy got sent off or something like that. And
I can't remember.
Something happened and he made a substitution. I was like going on the pitch going, what are you doing? We're winning 1-0 at the time, by the way. Then they come back, scored, and then they scored a winner late on. And after the game, I remember walking off the pitch and I was screaming, going nuts in the tunnel. And I remember Van Bommel, a Bayern player, looking at me as if to say, like, what is going on with this guy? Like, weirdo, like, lunatic. And I came in, I remember it being quite quiet, but I was just, was lost in my own.
You were shouting as you came in. I was already in there. And he came shouting, and the managers had to sort of like try and calm it down. But it got to a point where he can't stop.
Yeah.
So the gaffer at that point just had to tell him, like, nah, I'm not having this anyway. And it was like, oh my
I remember
God.
Gary Neville holding my arm and going, Rio, you just stop. You ain't going to win this one. Just stop. And I was going, you know. And he was like, and then Vida on the way home was like, Rio, sometimes you got to pick your arguments. And I was like, and I went in the next morning, I went in early and went to his office to apologise.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to his office and just said, like, Gaffer, he said, who is it? I said, it's Rio. I came in, he said, well, he went again. I've come in to apologise. He went again and went nuts. Seriously, like, you took the piss. How dare you in front of the team question me, the staff? And I said, listen, I agree. I still believe what I said's right, but the timing, I should have waited when we were me and you alone. Yeah. So I apologise, but he was great.
Yeah, he was top class.
There was never any hangover for stuff like that. He'd have an argument with you, and then a day or two later, he'd call off and it'd be fine.
Mate, he was so, honestly, that was, I think, one of his biggest skills. He could nail the shit out. Yeah, he did it to me a couple of times. But then another day or two later, I'd be in the canteen just having some whatever, and he'd just come and put his arm around you, or he'd just come and sit next to you, and he's just chatting about this or that, whatever. And I'm like, are we called it? Like, he hadn't even mentioned that bit, and he's just cracked on with it. And I'm thinking, that is, that's.
And you're sitting there shitting it.
Shitting it. Wow. Mate, honestly.
Dixie, right? The manager couldn't even tell him what to do. Yeah. Harry couldn't even, like, we'd go out and all the players would walk out, right? And then the manager would go, right, do 2 laps of the whole training ground as you warm up, jog. We're going around. Dixie, as we're going around, he's walking out with a bag of balls, his own bag of balls, and just starts smashing penalties into the net. No goalkeeper on his own while we're doing the warm-up.
What he wants.
Like, who does that?
He was fantastic at penalties, to be fair.
Like, mental. So it's just so different.
I wish we'd have done this before we interviewed you.
Seriously. He never used to go out for the warm-up in a game. Like, imagine you send the team out warm-up, he's getting in a hot bath.
Do you know what else he said? He said that he goes to visit the old grounds. He'll go to Upton Park and just drive there and stand outside. Just on a day off.
The best one about him was other than when Al Berkovic got his head kicked off by Johnny Artson and he was laughing. Dixie was laughing.
Was he?
Like he could have gone A&E, right? But he what one was it again?
The Terminator, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an unbelievable player as well, good player. Sorry, me and Frank used to room together. So clubs now got a lot of money. Everyone's got their own room. Back in the day, we always used to room together. Says me and Frank was walking through a corridor at an away game to go to the game in the morning. So it must have been about 12 at lunchtime. Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff, walking through the corridors, hotel room, there's a door open. Go in and have a look. It's Dixie and used to room with Slaven Bilic. What do they do? Like the senior players, we're the young ones. How do the older players, what's their rooms like when they leave it? Do they clean up? Do they leave it messy? Just poked our heads in there. Beds are all over the gaff. And there was an ashtray on the middle bit, like the middle little table between the 2 beds. Ashtray full of ash and cigarettes, a JD bottle gone, and loads of Coke, about half full Coke bottle. They'd done a bottle of JD together the night before a game.
Wow.
Slaven Bilic, who's the manager, and Dixie, who's the coach.
Wow.
Unreal. Michael Owen. Not many people would even especially the younger generation, will go, oh, he's won the Ballon d'Or. How many Englishmen have won the Ballon d'Or? And some people go, oh, I saw him play at the end of it. You weren't that when he was at the end of his career, weren't really saying much, blah, blah. I'm like, no, go to prime time Michael Owen and get to know. The Beckham documentary is dropped, and I think there's a lot of young people going, was he that good? I didn't know he was that good, or he was that big of a star. Michael Owen was a child prodigy, teenage prodigy. Came out of nowhere, bang, as like a 13-year-old, 14-year-old. England under 15 schoolboys on TV scored a wonder goal, dribbling past loads, scored on TV at Wembley, by the way. The first time I met him wasn't actually a game. It was actually at Lilleshall, which used to be the national school of football, where young players used to be selected to go and stay there and live there for 2 years. He was one of those players, so he was one of the best. And I was on trial with England or with West Ham, playing a game against Lilleshall, and we was in a dinner queue on the premises at Lilleshall, and Michael Owen was a year younger than me, and he comes into the dinner hall, and it's like everyone's going, "There's Michael Owen, there's Michael Owen." Like that's what he was at 14 years old. Like he was the man. Like everyone was like, "This guy is the hottest thing since sliced bread." And then all of a sudden, it's like he gets in the first team of Liverpool, scores on his debut against Wimbledon, comes on and scores. I think he puts it bottom corner. And it's like, no one's surprised. No one is even surprised who knows about or heard about him on the grapevine. So he's always was destined to be a star. And I always say this, there's only a few players. I think Jude Bellingham is the one you could relate it to now, that when he was 15, 14 years old, everybody knew where he was going. It was only injury that was probably going to stop him. Michael Owen is that guy. Michael Owen was the child superstar destined to be a top player in the world. But then he translates the form and the way he dismantled everything before him as a young kid, from Sunday League football to schoolboy football in Liverpool. He translated that into the first team immediately at club level and international level. So he goes into Liverpool, smashing it. I reckon he's just one of the top 2 or 3 quickest players I've ever played against. Now, if you see him at the end of his career, you wouldn't say that. Only Nicolas Anelka, I would say, is probably quicker. When they were both 18, 19, Nicolas Anelka was like a madness. So he beat me to a ball once. I couldn't believe it. And I was quick. Michael Owen was the same. I used to be on the halfway line. I'll never forget. There's only a few players that have done this. I was on the halfway line at Anfield, 1v1 with Michael Owen, and I was thinking, wow, where's my teammates? Because he was that quick. And you know that normally with quick players, they're really quick, but something else comes out of their game or falls out of their game. They're really quick, but they ain't got a great touch. They're really quick, but they don't know when to run. They're really quick, but they ain't great finishers. That's what normally used to happen. So you could get away with it. You get a chance to get back. They get away from you, but you get back because they take a little bit longer to get on the end of things and whatnot, or make decisions. Michael Owen was the quickest, if not one of the quickest, but could do all the things that I said that might be lacking in a quick player. He knew when to run. His timing was impeccable. He knew how to make runs. He was brave. His finishing was top tier. He finished like somebody like who was just caressing the ball at times into the net. Do you know what I mean? He made runs like he was a slow player. Had to be perfect. Had to be timed right. Knew when to run. Just a top player. It was amazing. Like the most like carefree, brilliant time on the pitch and off the pitch.
You say carefree, but they made you captain there, didn't they? How old would you have been? You would have been
22, maybe. 22?
Young to be a captain.
It was the difficult part of it. The most difficult part is like it was Lucas Radebe, because he was the captain. He's like a cult figure there. Do you know what I mean? Fans' favourite, great player, and he had a few injuries at that time. And then I'd only been there like 2 or 3 months, and I didn't really know the lads that well yet. And I was getting involved in going out and in the banter and becoming part of the group. But then the way Mr. or David O'Leary done it at the time is he just pulled me and Lucas out of the physio room, which is before training. That's the hub, isn't it? Everyone's in there having a laugh, bit of crack, whatever. And he pulled us out and just told me in the hallway, Lucas, we spoke about it earlier, but Rio, I'm going to make you captain.
Did you agree with that decision?
Of course I agreed. Of course I agreed, but I just felt so bad. Like I'm standing next to Lucas and I just looked at Lucas straight away and went, sorry, man. Like, and he went, no. It was great, to be fair. He went, Rio, it's you, man. Take it on now. It's a new time and blah, blah. I'll be here to support you. And
fuck, it's like the Lion King, isn't it?
I was like, I was looking at David. I was looking at David O'Leary as if to say, like, could have done it better than this, man. Please, But the hardest part about it was that the parking the next day, because at the training ground there, it was a captain and the manager's parking space next to each other, and then everyone else parked elsewhere.
You straight in there?
No, man. I drove in and I went, oh. I just went and parked where I normally parked. Yeah. And all the lads, after a few days, like a couple of weeks maybe, were going, and I came in one day, and in the end, he said, listen, Rio, just park there. You got to park there. He come and told me, Lucas, just please park
That's
there.
good from him.
Yeah, it was. It was.
He could have been...
So he wasn't parking in there at that point?
He stopped parking there. It was just empty spot.
Just an empty spot. Yeah. Isn't it mad, the pressures, that like what an odd point of pressure to come from that
That's
situation.
respect though as well.
Yeah. No. I understand what you're saying. We only had one disagreement once. Remember before the Champions League final when I was screaming?
I heard you saying about stuff like this. Yes. I don't remember this.
You don't remember?
No.
Maybe I remember.
Yes, thank you, Vida.
Can you tell me?
What was remember when I had the ball on the right-hand side in training? The day before we went to to fly to Rome. Was it Rome? Or was it Wembley? I don't know which one it was. And I had the ball. And Burberry's on the left side.
Both games we lost.
Yeah, but Burberry's on the left side. And now the striker's coming to press me. I need an option. They're pressing. And Burberry's over there. And I'm screaming, Burber! 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 And he goes, just wait for me to come. Play and wait, I'll be over there in a minute. And I kicked the ball out of the gate of the training. I just booted it frustrated. And I started saying, just get it! Just wait. And after, I went in the change room in the gym. Was in the gym after. And he said, Ria, listen, he was laughing. And I was saying, no, man, you can't laugh. It's out of order. What are you doing? He said, no, just play. I said, no, this is the way Barcelona, they're going to play like this. We don't play like this. You need to come and help me, man. I
remember that because I spoke with Beba many times because he said, why you give me these long balls? What am I going to do with the ball? Give me the feet.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That was his kind of, you know what I mean?
Oh, give me the ball
I told
in
him,
the feet.
like, sometimes you have to fight for us. You know what I mean? We're struggling. No. You have to hold the ball and then...
Couple of things in that story. First, you want to give a diagonal. That was not your game. That was not your game.
But the
diagonal ball.
No. I'm saying you was there. I didn't want to play it. Yeah. I wanted you to come here to give me some bloody help.
There was no
in the number 9.5, 10 position that you say you play.
Defender, center defender. You have what midfield players in front of you? Where were they?
There was marked pressure. Barcelona pressure.
So I was not marking pressure.
No. The play was on the left. It came to this side, and you were still there.
I cannot agree with this one. Sometimes the defender wanted to give the ball to the attackers, which was ridiculous. You should be able to play out. Play out of pressure.
I agree.
Like you're good enough to know your qualities and not be afraid if you make a mistake or just one-on-one against the attacker who is attacking you. You have a goalkeeper as well. Give it back to the goalkeeper.
You know when you lose the ball, yeah? Yeah.
And me?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Very rarely you lost the ball. But you know when your attackers lose the ball and us defenders are there to clean it up and defend it.
No, we're coming back to help you.
Wait. You're coming back to help us?
Yes.
Okay. But when we do that, we're helping you, yeah? Sometimes we need your help as well.
Not sometimes, all the time, because we score the goals. We score the goals, man. But even if that happens, which I don't remember.
To be fair, better he didn't talk, huh?
Yeah.
It was part of the game. I don't mind that because all of you guys were strong mentally, big egos and stuff like this, which is normal in a big team. That's what you need. Winners fighting, arguing, but when the training games finish, it's not personal. Don't take it personal. That's why I was probably laughing, but at the same time thinking, for you, you're just a defender, man. Give me the ball. All right? I will play the nice stuff.